So my engine is leaking seawater. Just to show you what I'm working with here. And if I lower the camera down, just over there. See all that rust and corrosion? That's all coming from this bit here. This bit here. And that seems to be the point of the leak. So I finally figured out where the leak was coming from. So when the engines are made, there's holes left from after when the engine block is actually cast. Those blocks are filled with these little plugs, and those plugs are called core plugs, some call them freeze plugs, and that's basically where the leak's coming from. And it's not a major issue, all it is, it's just a matter of getting those plugs changed. So I'm really happy because it's not an expensive fix and I don't have to get the engine lifted out or anything like that. So it turns out I wasn't that good at diagnosing engine problems as I thought I was. I had the core plugs changed. The leak wasn't just coming from there was also a crack in the engine block. The engineer told me that the engine was finished and I should look at getting a new one, which would cost me around £4,000. This really upset me and I was feeling down for a while. A job like that was definitely not in my budget, but I wasn't going to let it get me down too much, and I managed to get my spirits back up and start to do my own research. Fortunately, the crack wasn't in the main part of the engine block, and it was in fact on the water jacket, so there was no water in the engine oil, which explained why it ran perfectly fine this whole time. So I decided to try and patch the crack up myself, and this is exactly how I did it. And just like that, problem was solved. If only it was that simple. Now what I really did was clean the area up as much as I could, ground out the crack, got a healthy blob of chemical metal and pushed it into the crack as far as I could. And it worked! The leaking was completely stopped, and I'm hoping the way that I ground it out, the crack should stop creeping any further. And then after that, it was just a case of giving the engine a good old service. We're going to be servicing the engine. First thing we're going to do is remove this fuel hose because it's worn through. Right there. 3, 2, 1, and
make sure you got enough there too. If it looks like there's too much, just tighten it up.
That's going to take a while. The hose has now been taken out. We've got a fresh fuel hose going from there to there. And that's all good. Right, first fuel filter is done. Now we're going to be taking the fuel out. We've got a fuel pump here, 12 volt one, that's going straight into the dipstick, then through here, and up onto the deck, going into a plastic bottle. Hopefully it works and doesn't spill everywhere. The 12 volt pump didn't work, so we're having to resort to hand pumping the oil out into the bucket. So there's a fresh oil filter on, and fuel filter's all sorted, and engine started up with some fresh oil in, and no leaks, no explosions, so we're all good. I can officially confirm the engine is fixed, baby! Woo! Bang! So between the previous clip and the clip that's about to show now, there was quite a large gap due to the latest lockdown that occurred after Christmas. So I hadn't been able to get to the boat for quite a few months, and I'd actually finally taken the leap and packed all my things and actually moved aboard full time, as opposed to just coming to the boat every now and then to fix it up, to help with the continuity a little bit, so it makes a bit more sense for you guys. But yeah, on with the video. I'm finally back on the boat. It's been such a long time, it's been months. Lockdown is being eased, so now I'm allowed to come back into the boat and start working on it, and I'm super excited. There's gonna be some awesome adventures, some cool stuff. So yeah, my first day living on board wasn't as glamorous as I thought it was going to be, but pretty soon after that it was time for the boat to get lifted out of the water and the haul out jobs began. starting with the swim platform install. I'm just on my way to go and see Russell. Lovely chap who's helped me out so much with loads of stuff on the boat so far. And he's gonna fix me up some backing plates for the swim platform. Yeah, that'd be cool to watch. Russell, the absolute legend, has lent me some stuff that I need for the hull, and these backing plates are freaking amazing. They're beautiful. Look at those. We are starting to install the swim platform. So I'm in the back locker, right at the far back, trying to get into. Papa! Yeah? Okay, I'm in. We're going to start removing the ladder, the boarding ladder from the outside, and then start taking measurements. So we have measured up where we want the swim platform using tape, and we're using ropes to hold it up so we can kind of see what it's going to look like. I'm pretty happy with that height. I think it's going to be cool. Yeah, so we'll start marking it out and drilling the holes and then getting the struts in. To get the angle right on the swim platform, because the boat's on a bit of a tilt, I put a wedge at the back of the spirit level, so that's level to the actual floor of the boat. That's an idea given by the almighty Russell. So the strut is now on, that's been cut to the right size, and it looks good. I was really happy with how the swim platform turned out, but now it's time to get out the paint rollers and get serious. Okay, I know I said get serious, but it was kind of more like... Now that the anti-foul was done, the only job that was left to do now was to give the hull a polish. Now with 1 day left to spare before the boat is getting put back into the water, Carl from Yacht Care Plus was kind enough to lend me all his polishing equipment, and I managed to get it all done in 1 day, and it absolutely destroyed my arms. Pretty much 8 hours later, I'm finally done. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Now I can rest. Keep an eye out for the next video where I try to install boat equipment in really high winds, and I chat to an amazing group of women doing something that's absolutely unbelievable.